Have you ever felt emotionally drained, caught in the manipulative web of a narcissist, unsure of how to regain your peace? If so, you're not alone. In today's fast-paced world, narcissistic personalities seem to emerge everywhere, from colleagues and family members to partners and even friends. Their endless need for attention and validation can leave you feeling powerless and trapped. But here's the truth: you hold all the power. Imagine being able to disarm their tactics, control your emotions, and fortify your inner peace, no matter how much they try to provoke you. In this video, we are about to dive deep into 5 powerful Stoic strategies that can not only help you endure the presence of a narcissist, but actually thrive. These aren't just coping mechanisms, they're methods of reclaiming control over your mental and emotional well-being. If you've ever wished for a way to torture a narcissist without engaging in harmful tactics by depriving them of the reactions they crave, then this is your ultimate guide. By watching this video in its entirety, you'll learn how to protect yourself, set boundaries, and cultivate a fortress of calm and strength that no one, not even the most manipulative narcissist, can penetrate. So, don't skip a second. Stay with us as we explore how Stoicism can be your greatest weapon. Let's start this journey towards a life of inner peace and resilience. 1. Set firm boundaries and stick to them. Have you ever found yourself feeling emotionally exhausted after every interaction with a narcissist? Maybe it's that family member who constantly undermines you, or that colleague who always turns the conversation back to themselves. No matter the situation, one thing remains true: narcissists are relentless in testing boundaries. But here's the question: how often do you truly stand firm in setting and maintaining those boundaries? One of the most effective ways to regain control in a relationship with a narcissist is by establishing and upholding clear, non-negotiable boundaries. What does it look like to set boundaries with someone who constantly oversteps them? The answer lies in one of Stoicism's core principles: recognizing what is within your control. You cannot control the narcissist's behavior, but you have absolute control over how much access you allow them to have in your life, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. But setting boundaries is not always easy, is it? Especially when the narcissist may be someone close to you, like a family member or partner. You may fear the consequences. Will they retaliate? Will they lash out? These are valid concerns. Yet, by refusing to set boundaries, you're giving them even more control. You are allowing their toxic behaviors to infiltrate your life and dictate your emotions. And this is precisely what Stoicism teaches us to avoid: being controlled by external events. Why is setting boundaries so difficult, and why is it so important? Stoicism tells us that the struggle to set boundaries often stems from the desire to please others or avoid conflict. We fear rejection, abandonment, or confrontation. But the paradox here is that without boundaries, we invite far greater harm into our lives. Every interaction with a narcissist that crosses a line adds weight to your emotional burden. Each violation chips away at your inner peace, like carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. How do you begin setting boundaries? First, you must define them for yourself. What are the behaviors you will no longer tolerate? Will you limit your time with this person? Will you decide to disengage from conversations that feel manipulative? Once you've established these boundaries, the key is to communicate them clearly and consistently. Do not allow yourself to be swayed by guilt or fear. The narcissist may push back. They may even intensify their efforts to break your resolve. But this is where Stoic discipline comes in. You remain steadfast, firm, and focused on protecting your well-being. You are in control of your own actions. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in consistency. It's easy to falter, especially when faced with manipulative tactics. The narcissist may feign hurt or attempt to guilt you into changing your mind. They may test your resolve in every interaction, but every time you hold the line, you reclaim a piece of your inner peace. Every time you stand firm, you reinforce the idea that you are not a victim to their manipulation. You are the guardian of your mental and emotional space. What if they react with anger or escalation? Here's where another Stoic concept becomes invaluable. Indifference to external reactions. You cannot control their response, only your own. If the narcissist reacts poorly, remind yourself that this is merely their inability to respect your boundaries. It is not a reflection of your worth or your decisions. By staying calm and detached, you deny them the satisfaction of controlling your emotions. Maintaining boundaries is a form of self-respect. And when you respect yourself enough to set boundaries, you begin to shift the dynamic. You signal to the narcissist that their behavior no longer dictates your emotional state. This is how you begin to torture them, not through malice, but through emotional self-reliance. As Marcus Aurelius would remind us, the key to peace lies not in changing others, but in controlling how we let them affect us. Are you ready to start setting boundaries that will transform your life? This is just the first step in mastering how to interact with a narcissist using Stoicism. Stick with us, because next we'll explore the power of emotional disengagement, a tactic that will leave the narcissist grasping for the control they can no longer have. 2. Refuse to engage emotionally. How often do you find yourself pulled into an emotional whirlpool when interacting with a narcissist? Do their words or actions trigger frustration, anger, or even sadness in you? One of the most effective strategies in dealing with a narcissist, according to Stoicism, is to refuse to engage emotionally. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or becoming indifferent to everything. It means choosing how, when, and if to respond at all. Have you ever noticed how narcissists thrive on emotional reactions? Whether it's a compliment that feeds their ego or a confrontation that gives them the drama they crave, they rely on others to fuel their sense of self-importance. Here's where Stoicism offers a profound alternative. Rather than giving the narcissist what they want, your emotional energy, you can choose to disengage. But how do we do this in practice, especially when emotions are running high? Emotional disengagement doesn't mean apathy. It means control. You acknowledge your feelings without letting them dominate you. Imagine a scenario. The narcissist makes a hurtful comment designed to provoke you. Your instinct might be to defend yourself or retaliate, but Stoicism teaches us to pause and reflect before acting. What would happen if, instead of reacting, you simply let the comment pass, like water flowing over a rock? The narcissist expects you to react. They want to see your frustration or anger. By choosing not to engage, you deny them that satisfaction. You remain calm, composed, and most importantly, in control of your emotions. Why does refusing to engage emotionally torture the narcissist? Narcissists are like actors on a stage. They expect a script filled with reactions and responses that validate their sense of superiority or control. When you don't follow the script, when you refuse to play the role they've assigned to you, they are left without their source of validation. This forces them to confront something they deeply fear, their lack of control over others. In their world, emotions are tools to manipulate, but when you remove that tool, you expose their powerlessness. Now, you might be wondering, how can I remain emotionally detached when I feel provoked? Stoicism provides a powerful answer in the form of mindfulness and reflection. By practicing daily mindfulness, you train yourself to observe your emotions without immediately acting on them. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to reflect on situations as an outsider. What would a wise and calm person do in this moment? By creating distance between the stimulus, the narcissist's provocation, and your response, you gain the power to choose how you react. Think about the last time a narcissist made a cutting remark or pushed your buttons. Did your immediate response lead to more conflict, more frustration? What if instead you had paused, taken a breath, and chosen not to engage? Emotional disengagement is a skill, one that can be developed through practice. And as you practice, you will find that the narcissist's influence over you weakens. They can no longer dictate your emotional state. One of the most liberating aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on what is within your control. Your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, these are your domain. The narcissist may continue their manipulative behavior, but they cannot force you to feel a certain way unless you allow it. This is where true freedom lies, in the understanding that you control your inner world, not them. But emotional disengagement does not mean you become cold or unfeeling. On the contrary, it means you remain compassionate toward yourself. You don't allow their toxic behavior to poison your peace of mind. This is an act of self-care, of preserving your mental and emotional well-being. When a narcissist tries to provoke you, imagine yourself standing in the eye of a storm. The chaos may rage around you, but you remain calm, centered, and unmoved. This is the essence of Stoicism, the ability to maintain your tranquility in the face of external turbulence. By refusing to engage emotionally, you shift the power dynamic. The narcissist realizes they can no longer push your buttons. They may try harder at first, increasing their attempts to provoke you, but eventually they will become frustrated. The more you practice emotional detachment, the less power they have over you. They will no longer be able to manipulate your mood or control your responses. Is it possible to stay disengaged in every interaction? Not always, and that's okay. Even the most disciplined Stoics had moments of frustration, but the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Each time you choose not to engage emotionally, you strengthen your ability to protect your peace. The narcissist may attempt to provoke you again and again, but with each disengagement, you remind yourself of your power, the power to choose your response. And here's the beauty of it. As you practice emotional disengagement, you'll notice that other areas of your life begin to improve as well. Stoicism teaches us that by mastering our emotions in one context, we gain the strength to apply this mastery in other relationships, challenges, and stressors. Emotional disengagement isn't just about dealing with narcissists. It's about cultivating resilience in all aspects of life. We've explored how emotional disengagement can protect you, but next, we'll dive deeper into one of the most fundamental Stoic principles: indifference to what is beyond your control. This is where true peace begins. So stay tuned, because mastering this principle is the key to unlocking a life free from the emotional grip of narcissists. 3. Practice Stoic indifference. How often do we find ourselves entangled in the emotions and actions of others? When dealing with a narcissist, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by their behavior, whether it's their need for constant validation, their manipulations, or their toxic provocations. But what if I told you that you don't have to engage at all? What if there was a way to free yourself from their influence entirely? The Stoics call this principle indifference to what is beyond your control. What does Stoic indifference mean? And how can it be applied when dealing with a narcissist? Let's explore that together. Indifference doesn't mean apathy. A common misconception about Stoicism is that it teaches us to ignore the world around us. This couldn't be further from the truth. Indifference in Stoic terms means understanding the distinction between what you can and cannot control. And once you grasp this distinction, you can begin to shift your focus to what truly matters: your own thoughts, actions, and reactions. The narcissist's words and behaviors are beyond your control, but how you respond to them, that is where your power lies. Imagine for a moment, you're in a conversation with a narcissist and they are boasting about their achievements or trying to undermine your self-worth. What do you feel in that moment? Perhaps irritation, anger, or frustration. But here's the crucial Stoic insight. These feelings arise not from the narcissist's words, but from how you interpret them. You might think, why do they always act this way? Or, how can they be so self-centered? These judgments are within your control, and with practice, you can choose to let them go. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In the context of narcissists, this means that no matter what they say or do, your peace of mind is not dependent on them. You have the power to remain indifferent to their provocations. The narcissist seeks to draw you into their drama, to provoke a reaction. But when you practice indifference, you deny them that power. How can we practice indifference in daily life? It begins with recognizing when we are giving too much mental energy to things beyond our control. The narcissist's behavior is one of those things. When they flaunt their self-importance or try to manipulate you, stop and ask yourself, does this truly affect me, or am I letting it affect me? This simple reflection can bring immediate clarity. Stoic indifference is not a passive state of resignation. It is an active, deliberate practice of refocusing your attention on what is within your power, your thoughts, your emotions, your responses. The more you practice this, the more you will see how little the narcissist's actions actually matter. In fact, once you stop reacting emotionally, you'll notice something incredible. The narcissist begins to lose their grip on you. Their attempts to manipulate or provoke no longer work because you've chosen not to be swayed by them. But here's the critical question. Why does indifference torture the narcissist? Narcissists thrive on control and emotional reactions. They are experts at getting under your skin, making you feel unsettled, angry, or upset. When you practice Stoic indifference, you deprive them of their favorite tool. They can no longer dictate your emotional state. Over time, this frustrates them. They will try harder at first, perhaps pushing your buttons even more. But the more you practice indifference, the more you reveal their inability to control you. This, in turn, leaves the narcissist confused and powerless. Is indifference easy to achieve? No, especially if the narcissist is someone close to you, like a family member or partner. Emotional attachment often makes it difficult to remain indifferent to their provocations. But Stoicism offers exercises to help us strengthen this mental muscle. One of these exercises is daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on your interactions with the narcissist. Ask yourself, did I let their behavior affect me today? Could I have responded differently? By regularly reflecting, you begin to train your mind to detach from what is beyond your control. There's also the practice of negative visualization. This involves mentally preparing yourself for future provocations. Picture the next time you'll interact with the narcissist. Imagine the worst they could say or do. Then, practice in your mind how you will remain indifferent. This exercise builds resilience, so when the real interaction happens, you are already mentally fortified. By embracing Stoic indifference, you reclaim your mental space. You no longer waste energy worrying about the narcissist's behavior, and you shift your focus to what truly matters: your own peace of mind, your growth, and your well-being. And isn't that the ultimate goal? So far, we've explored setting firm boundaries and refusing to engage emotionally. Now, by practicing indifference, you add another layer of protection. But there's more to learn. In the next section, we'll discuss how to stop carrying their emotional burden, a crucial step in freeing yourself from the weight of a toxic relationship. Stay with us, because this next strategy might just be the most liberating of all. 4. Stop carrying their emotional burden. Do you ever feel like every interaction with a narcissist leaves you carrying a little more emotional weight. Perhaps you've tried reasoning with them, only to feel drained afterward. Or maybe their constant need for attention and validation has left you feeling like you're carrying the burden of their emotions. But why are you carrying their emotional baggage? This is the question we must ask ourselves, and Stoicism provides the answer. Think of it like this. Every time the narcissist manipulates you, every time they pull you into their emotional drama, it's like they're handing you a rock to carry. Over time, the weight of these interactions accumulates. You may not even realize it, but you're carrying a backpack full of their emotional baggage, and it's weighing you down. But here's the key. You don't have to carry it. You can choose to put the backpack down. How do we stop carrying the narcissist's emotional burden? The first step is recognizing what belongs to you and what belongs to them. Stoicism teaches us to differentiate between our own emotions and the emotions of others. Narcissists often project their insecurities and fears onto those around them. They might make you feel responsible for their happiness or for soothing their fragile ego, but you are not responsible for their emotions. This is a crucial realization. What happens when you stop carrying their emotional baggage? The narcissist will likely push back at first. They may accuse you of being unsupportive, selfish, or uncaring. But remember, these accusations are their attempt to hand you another rock. By standing firm and refusing to carry the weight of their emotional world, you begin to liberate yourself. You reclaim your energy, your mental clarity, and your emotional well-being. Narcissists are master manipulators, often using guilt to keep you entangled in their emotional web. They may imply that you owe them your time, your attention, or your sympathy. But Stoicism teaches us that we owe no one the burden of carrying their emotional turmoil. This doesn't mean we lack compassion. It means we protect our own well-being first. Have you ever wondered why it feels so exhausting to be around a narcissist? It's because they drain your energy by forcing you to carry their emotional baggage. Every interaction leaves you with another rock in your backpack, whether it's their need for validation, their constant complaints, or their manipulative tactics. But Stoicism gives you the tools to stop this cycle. One powerful Stoic exercise is the practice of mental distancing. When the narcissist tries to pull you into their emotional drama, visualize yourself stepping back. Picture the narcissist holding out a rock, representing their emotional burden, and simply refuse to take it. This visualization can be incredibly empowering. It reminds you that you are not obligated to carry their emotions. By practicing mental distancing, you reinforce your emotional boundaries and protect your peace of mind. Once you stop carrying the narcissist's emotional baggage, you'll notice something profound. You feel lighter. Your mind is clearer, your energy is renewed, and your sense of self is stronger. Stoicism teaches us that by letting go of what isn't ours, we free ourselves to focus on what truly matters, our own growth, our own happiness, and our own well-being. But here's an important question. What do you fill that emotional space with once you've let go of the narcissist's burden? This is where the next strategy comes into play, shifting your focus to self-growth. When you stop carrying the weight of their emotions, you open up space for your own development. You create room for joy, peace, and fulfillment. So stay with us, because the final step in our journey will show you how to turn the energy you once spent on the narcissist into fuel for your own growth. 5. Shift your focus to self-growth. Now that you've set boundaries, refused to engage emotionally, practiced stoic indifference, and stopped carrying their emotional burden, what's next? The answer is perhaps the most important step of all. Shift your focus entirely away from the narcissist and onto your own growth. You see, narcissists demand attention. They thrive on being the center of your world, whether through manipulation, drama, or endless need for validation. But what happens when you stop giving them that attention? What happens when you turn your focus inward to your own growth and well-being? You begin to heal, to thrive, and to reclaim your life. Stoicism teaches us that the ultimate goal in life is to live according to virtue, to pursue wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues guide us not toward the validation of others, but toward self-fulfillment. When you shift your focus away from the narcissist and onto your own growth, you begin to live in alignment with these virtues. You reclaim your sense of purpose. Think about all the energy you've spent trying to navigate the narcissist's manipulations. What could you accomplish if you redirected that energy toward your passions, your goals, and your happiness? When you shift your focus to self-growth, you no longer allow the narcissist to take up mental and emotional space in your life. You invest in yourself, and in doing so, you rob the narcissist of their power. What are the areas of your life where you can begin to grow? Is it your career, your relationships, your creative pursuits, or your spiritual journey? Whatever it is, make a conscious decision to focus on it. Every time the narcissist attempts to draw you back into their world, remind yourself that your energy is better spent on your own growth. In fact, I'd love to hear from you. What are the areas of your life you're ready to invest in now that you're reclaiming your energy from the narcissist? Leave a comment below and share your journey with us. Your growth not only inspires you, but also those around you who may be dealing with similar challenges. When you prioritize your growth, you become resilient. You no longer rely on external validation, especially from toxic individuals. You find joy in the process of becoming the best version of yourself, and that is where true fulfillment lies. The narcissist may still be in your life, but their influence will diminish as you pour your energy into self-improvement. They lose their hold over you, and you gain something far more valuable: freedom. Stoicism is not just about endurance, it's about thriving in the face of adversity. By shifting your focus to self-growth, you embody the highest Stoic virtues and create a life that is not dictated by the actions of others, but guided by your own inner compass. As we wrap up this journey through the 5 Stoic strategies to torture the narcissist, remember that the power to reclaim your life is within you. You've learned how to set firm boundaries, refuse to engage emotionally, practice indifference, stop carrying their emotional burden, and shift your focus to self-growth. These strategies are not just tactics for dealing with narcissists, they are life-changing principles that will help you navigate all forms of adversity with grace and strength. If this video has resonated with you, I encourage you to leave a comment sharing your thoughts. How are you applying Stoicism in your own life? What challenges have you faced? And what victories have you celebrated? Your story can inspire others who are on the same path. And if you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who might need these Stoic insights. Together, we can build a community of individuals committed to inner peace, growth, and resilience. Thank you for being a part of this journey, and may your path be filled with the wisdom and tranquility of the Stoics.